Jay and Brittany Hagy join us with Allon Planning Partners.
Hello.
Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're making me hungry talking about ham. So
Well, you know, and here's the thing about ham at Easter, and it's kind of funny, you know, the Jews don't eat ham. And we know the Lord was a Jew.
That is true.
So why is ham?
Eat part of
the
Easter.
Easter thing.
Somebody tell me.
We've already ordered our honey baked ham.
I was going to say,
so
I
it's
placed
okay.
my order
Yeah.
yesterday.
Frankly, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, look, we got to talk here because look, the world's on fire out here. The
Seems
market's
that way.
up and down. The blah blah blah.
Yeah, it seems a little volatile.
What about it?
You just need to take a deep breath, right? We realize that no matter what's happening, the news cycles are going to try to lead with fear, and there's going to be volatility in the market. There's going to be corrections. There's going to be ups and downs, but the market works cyclically, right? So it's really about how you're positioned and what your plan looks like that really matters. We just try to help people not be led by emotion, because emotions will fool us. Now, if you are in the wrong risk tolerance, I have a very weak risk tolerance for roller coasters. Okay, like I was telling you, I could look at a roller coaster almost and get dizzy and sick. My son can ride one 27 times and loop him around, and he's like, "Hey, let's go again." And so everybody has different risk tolerances. Some people are in this volatility and like, I can sleep. I'm good. Like, I know what's going to happen. I know where it's going. Some people are wringing their hands trying to figure out where to move. And so it's an indication that you don't have confidence in your plan if you are wringing your hands right now. And so clarity brings confidence, and that's what we try to do, is bring clarity with a clear plan to help people understand market cycles are going to happen. It's how you're positioned in those cycles and when you're going to actually utilize that money that mattered most. And that's what we help people with right now.
Yeah, and a lot of times, what causes folks the most problem is when they are driven by that emotion of fear, right? When they listen to the headlines or they receive that panic from what's going on around us, and they end up buying and selling at the wrong times. That's the problem.
That's
and
right.
we read this study recently as a Vanguard study that they did. They actually did the study to discredit the value of an advisor. And their findings were really interesting because it did the opposite. It showed that the overall profit margins for folks utilizing an independent advisor actually increased by over 3%. And a significant portion of that 3% was because of behavioral coaching. So helping folks know, okay, yes, now it's time to make a shift here when you're buying and selling, or hey, not the time to do this. Like, here's why you should hold steady where you are. So that's really a lot of what we do, help folks navigate those, decisions and ensure that they're not pulling out or jumping in at the wrong times. And what really helps with that is the core of what we do. Comprehensive financial planning, looking at more than just investments, looking at more, should I buy Tesla or should I buy Pepsi? Like, it's so much more than that. That's the beginning, and you've got to build on that. But when you have a complete plan in place, you worry so much less about the little ups and downs that you face with
We were talking about
volatility.
March Madness before here.
Yeah.
How'd your bracket do?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I
I was
had
out the
Duke.
first week. So,
Well,
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's in timing the market is actually like trying to pick the perfect bracket, right?
Good luck.
Yeah, there are billions of combinations, and I don't know that anybody's ever picked the perfect bracket, right? I know a few years ago they were saying, hey, we'll give you $1 billion if you pick the
Warren
perfect
Buffett.
bracket. Yeah. And it's almost statistically impossible, right? Even with all the algorithms we have today, it's the same way with timing the market. If you take a 20-year period, we looked at this study that BlackRock did, and you say, okay, the market, if you had $100,000 in the market 20 years ago, it's worth about $800,000 today. It's a huge gain in 20 years, right? If you miss the top 5 days out of 20 years, just 5 days, that $800,000 would only be worth $400,000. You miss about half the return by being out the wrong 5 days. So it's like picking the perfect bracket, right? You have to know exactly which days to be in and which days to be out. It's more about having the perfect plan, not the perfect timing of when to get in and out.
Jay and Brittany Hagy join us, Allon Planning Partners, of course, allonplanning.com. I'm just imagining that your clients, the people who are with you, you're not getting a lot of panic phone calls right now, are you?
That is true. Yeah, that is true. We were actually somewhere the other day at an event, and
Silverdale.
meeting
Silverdale
a couple
Gala.
people, new people, and someone come to me and said, "Hey, I know what you do," and they weren't a client. I was like, I'm a little worried to death right now with all this Iran war and everything's going on in the oil prices and the stock market's going crazy. He's like, I
Should I
bet
be
you're
selling?
getting blown up with your. I said, honestly, I'm not. Because we put a plan together for our people where they understand how the buckets of money that they have are positioned and how they're supposed to react in these times. And yeah, you're going to have some that go up and down a lot more volatile, but you shouldn't have all that's acting like that. And usually it's an indication if someone is really wringing their hands and worried that way that they don't have full confidence in their plan. So we encourage them, hey, why don't you come sit down with us and get a full plan together, not just how do I pick the right
Do
investment.
I buy now? Do I sell now? What's the right now
But yeah,
decision?
we're not getting a lot of those calls because we actually put a plan together for folks where they can have peace at night when they sleep.
Brittany, and so folks want to do that, just come and sit down with you guys. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, there's a number of ways to reach out. You can do it through our website, allonplanning.com, or you can call us directly at 423-315-1441. Especially on our website, you can schedule your complimentary consultation directly from there. We also have all these resources. I mean, it's April, it's Financial Literacy Month, and
Right.
we educate consistently. We offer workshops throughout the community that talk about these financial topics. We do long form TV shows, CBS, NBC, all these local stations. We have 30-minute shows. They're on our YouTube channel. You can watch them on demand.
We're bugging you guys on the
So-
radio. all the
that's
time.
right.
You know,
We're here
so,
all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But if there's a topic you're wanting to know more about, I almost guarantee that we have some information about it. We have all kinds of resources on our website. Again, allonplanning.com. Check it out.
All right. Very, very good. And now this.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. No legal or tax advice is provided. Always consult with a tax professional. All rights reserved.